Did Digimon Super Rumble ever launch? Did it ever even leave beta testing? Are the Korean players hoarding the game all to themselves? And do we ever have any chance of receiving it over here in the West? And you know what, actually most importantly, why would they call it Digimon Super Rumble? That is literally such a terrible title for an MMO. Admittedly, those are all very good, very valid questions, and while we're filled with questions concerning the game, very little in terms of answers have been provided to us. However, don't dismay, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Quick shout out to our patrons over on Patreon. This allows you to directly support us if you're interested. Every patron will have their name appear at the beginning of every single YouTube video, and you'll be immortalized in the MMO genre forever. First, let me address the fact that yes, it has in fact left beta testing. The game has been in a fully playable state all year. If you navigate on over to the official website, you'll see that there's an option to download the game client. I successfully downloaded it myself completely by accident after just clicking the download link in the navigation bar at the top of the website, and I have yet to see what happens when I attempt to install it, but I speculate that we're still going to run into the same issues here as we did during the beta test, and that is not having a Korean phone number. Yet, if you do manage to get around that and activate your account, you'll be able to fully play the game. There was never and still remains no IP blocks in place that prevent players outside of Korea from accessing the game. As this is a Korean MMO, it is not translated into English yet, so do keep this in mind before wasting any time and any money on a Korean phone number. Since I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume if you're interested enough, you'll no doubt opt to purchase one. Quick note though, I will have a link to the website in the description and the pinned comment below if you still want to go ahead and try your luck at it. Clicking over to their announcement page, I noticed that they're in active communication with their community. There are updates almost daily concerning events, concerning alterations to the game, additions to the game, bug fixes. I went through, I think there were at least 10 pages worth of announcements over the last few months, and I didn't find anything concerning a release outside of Korea, which, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that the game isn't releasing outside of Korea. It just means that at present, even with the ridiculous frequency of updates, they have no plans of releasing the game westward. I tried searching off-site, I used their Discord, various different public forums. The developers have not spoken about a global release in any capacity yet. Looking at their game though, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but it still looks largely incomplete. Seeing the scenery, seeing the character models, how everything interacts with one another, it's all still so clunky and so far from an acceptable state in my opinion. Taking a moment to look through their updates, they're introducing entirely new areas, new Digimon, new features, so while my comment about the game looking and feeling incomplete is entirely valid, I'm guessing they're still heavily in the process of actually improving and finalizing the game ahead of any type of international release. If they release it in this form, the game will be dead before it has the chance to even capture an audience. Judging from the little information that I could find, it looks as though the game is going to remain a PC exclusive. They have no intentions of releasing this game neither on console nor on mobile platforms. Much like Digimon Masters Online, we're only going to be able to play this game on PC, and much like Digimon Masters Online, this game is unfortunately probably going to run into issues concerning pay to win. Now, I don't know any Korean players that actively played this game at present, but I know how horrendously pay to win its predecessor was. It looks like they're sticking to a turn-based combat system. Honestly, I feel as though this is highly limiting the game's potential. As while I am a huge fan of turn-based JRPGs, I do not think that turn-based combat works in MMOs, where players have varied levels of patience and limited time. There is confirmed PvP present as well, which makes this even more unimaginable to process. Like, just take a moment here and think. A person waiting 60 seconds between every individual attack. unless there's a much shorter timer, in which case players in different parts of the world with lag, with latency issues might be at a severe disadvantage, at times not even being able to use their turn. If Digimon Super Rumble ever released over here in the West, much like in Korea, the game will be completely free to play. Maybe not free to win, free to be competitive, but definitely free to, at the very least, play, as you'll be competing with whales that have more money than you'll ever have to invest. All in all, I know this isn't necessarily what you were hoping to hear, but they haven't forgotten about the game. On the contrary, the game is more alive than ever, with a more active team than almost any MMO released in the West. And while we don't have a confirmed release date for North America, Europe, or really anywhere other than Korea, I'm sure it's only a matter of time. They'll want to milk us like I used to milk my Miltank back in Pokemon Crystal after all. While you wait to inevitably play the new Digimon MMO though, why not go ahead and check out this list of other confirmed MMOs slated for release in 2022. I'm sure at least a few of them will no doubt be of interest to you.